Disclaimer: my videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Fair Use Act disclaimer, copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. No copyright is intended, all rights reserved.
Hey guys, I am coming on here today because I wanted to talk about something that I feel is very important. And it is what I have been finding a lot of, especially women, because I'm a woman and I talk to other women. And I have a lot of female friends that are in professional arenas, as well as they have had the lived experience because they are of age 40 and above. Not saying I don't have any women under 40 or female friends under 40, but I'm just saying those with the lived experience. So I wanted to come on here and talk about basically about different relationships. We have relationships like back in the day. I'm gonna put more than 40 years ago, because that's about when I became an adult, that long ago. But I'm saying past that is when the your family used to check out your mate for you. They would always say, like back in Mississippi, they'll say who their family is. A person couldn't just, usually didn't marry unless they had approval from the family. And the gentleman would always ask the father if the father was living or the next of kin that was the next male in charge. They would ask them for the female's hand in marriage, but we know things are different today. A lot of people are not getting married, they're staying together and they're bypassing all that. And maybe that's why a lot of failure that we have today. But back in the day, the gentleman would ask the parents for the female's hand in marriage. And then usually the parents would check out that family and find out if there's anything in that family background that their daughter needs to stay away from. They're like, oh, no, thank you. And they'd have to move on to somebody else that did not have that same protection, because back in the day, the men would definitely protect their home. And I know nowadays, a lot of people are talking about where the father was taken out of the home, but a lot of fathers are not taken out of the home. A lot of men may not be in the home because they're able to get away with it. But I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother discussion. I wanted to talk about different people that were raised on survival and those that are raised on love. Now, what happens is you get someone that's raised on love. They know how to love. When they were little kids growing up, their parents, or they had a loving parent and that support system. If they were going to play sports, they had that support system. Someone was there cheering them on. When they, usually little kids, and I think we all have done it. I know I've done it. I thought I was big enough to go and pour a glass of milk. I poured the milk would spill. Now, depending on how your parents react, so you imagine you're a little kid and in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna show my parents how big I am, that I'm a big girl, and I'm gonna pour this glass of milk, and your hands are shaking and everything, and you're trying to pour it and you're wasting milk or juice or whatever it is you're pouring all over the place. Now, how did your parents react? In love, your parents usually would say, oh, they would not make a huge deal out of it because they know my little girl or my little boy is trying to be a big little boy, a big little girl. They're not going to make a big deal out of it. So they may say, oh, stop it, or hey, stop, baby, or oh, look at that baby trying to be big. Let's get this up. That's how that parent reacts. Some people do not get that. Those that are raised in survival mode, they may have a parent that sees them pouring the milk or catches them or comes in after fact. They're going to get yelled at. What are you doing, you little? They'll get called out of their name. You little so-and-so, this and that. What are you doing now? We're not going to have enough milk for the rest of the kids. You're not going to get any milk. You're wasting it, you little, la, la, la. So you imagine what that does to a child that thinks they're doing something great. I'm being a big kid. So now they've had that yelling. So they were doing something, their mind is thinking, I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl. Now their parent that's supposed to be showing them love, that's been feeding them, hopefully feeding them, but that's been taking care of them, hopefully taking care of them. And I'm saying this to try to put in your mind that everybody does not get that type of love growing up. And you're not going to know that because you got that kind of love growing up. They did not. So I want you to try to understand, unless you are a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, and you want to deal with that within your household, so you're never going to clock out. So you might want to rethink that. So make sure you evaluate. And I'm just bringing this to you because this is not their fault, so to speak, because they're trained, their brains are trained to go up and down. They're happy. Let's say they're sitting down playing with blocks. Little child sitting down playing with their blocks and they're happy. Their mind is going. It's like, oh, you know how little kids and they're imagining things, great things, and soaring high in their mind, very imaginative, and they have their blocks all over the place in the floor. Now, the loving parent, oh, little Jane or little Johnny, it's time to pick those blocks up. Or they'll say something like, hey, oh, look at that, my little architecture. Oh, my little builder. Oh, what have you done? Oh, let's see. Oh, that's wonderful. I wish, let me get a picture of this. That's the loving parent. Now, every child doesn't get that. The other parent, the survival parent, or the child that's raised in survival, their parent will come in there and see that scene and they will go, what are you doing, you little, you got this house all messy and stuff, clean that mess up. Blah, blah, blah. So you can imagine what that does to a child's brain now. The brain is getting trained to wherever they're happy to expect that not to last long. They're happy, they expect that not to last long. Okay, so now they're a little older, they're playing sports, or they have a recital, or they have dance that they've signed up for. They want to do that, but they can't do it because they have grown-up responsibilities. I'm not saying it's wrong to have responsibilities, because even the kids that were raised in love have responsibilities, because that's what helps us be responsible adults. But their responsibilities are not child responsibilities, they are adult responsibilities. No, you can't play sports because you gotta babysit. You gotta cook, you gotta do all this stuff that usually kids do not have to do at a particular age. They still can be able to have that time set aside for dance or extracurricular activity, and also do chores, even if those chores include babysitting at a particular age, because some kids, there's a certain age, like maybe 12 or something around that age, where it's okay to babysit because the thought process and the mindset can have that little responsibilities. But some kids are doing it earlier because the parents are stressed and they can't afford it and they have to work. So it's put on the child, who gets all that responsibility, and they can't, or they do not get to be a child. So now, or even if they do, and now the parent feels, I got something better to do. No, I'm not coming to your baseball game. Are you crazy? I gotta work. Are you crazy? That's the only night that I have off. I'm going out with my friends. So it's different things like that. And then that tells the child, oh, their little happiness It's like they don't have that support. And so they're up and down, up and down, up and down. So now you have this adult who's have it trained in their brain. Every time they're happy, something's going to happen. So now you find yourself in a relationship with this person. You've been raised in love and you're understanding, you're peaceful, but now you're in this relationship with this person and you notice you're doing the up and down. And you start thinking, oh my God, it's been 2 days. What are they going to complain about? What are they going to complain about? You might find yourself in this position. Now, here's the thing. You've heard the term, don't cry over spilled milk. Wonder where that came from. Is there an answer? Yes. What you need to do, because you're probably going to have a hard time getting this person, if you can break away peacefully and you need your peace, but make sure that you talk to a professional for yourself. If it's really stressing you out, if you're just dating and you see these signs, then just be at peace with yourself by saying, oh, no, thank you. As well as check out a person's background, check their family dynamics, because right now we do not have a lot of fathers are not around, a lot of parents are not around today that do their due diligence the way it used to be, because we can say times have changed, but people mentality still has stayed the same. So it has not evolved with the time. They've gotten worse, I would say, because certain things are allowed now. And your character is your character, but you can only change you, and people will do what you allow them to do. But I just wanted to bring this to the attention. So there's a survival mode or survival, and then there is love. When those two get together, and the survival person, they may not even know or they may not understand. They just feel like it's just something that's ingrained in them to that. And as you can see through my explanation, when you're a child and you're constantly, when you're high or feeling good, and that person who's supposed to love you brings you down, and then you're feeling good again, that person who's supposed to love you brings you down, you're feeling good again, that person who's supposed to love you bring you down. So you got 18 years of that. And you can pull up a YouTube video on psychology, the mindset, and you'll find out within 2 years, you kind of start setting in that personality. So look up mindsets. There was Fredrickson, there is Carol Dweck. You got very good videos on YouTube in regards to that. So tell me what you think. I hope to have other videos about this, but I just wanted to share this and try to give some insight on what I have noticed and what has been shared with me, and what I've seen, what I've observed. But I am also want to say this, do a disclaimer here. If you feel like you want to hurt yourself or hurt someone else, do get help, because that's a no-go, no. But I just wanted to share this and see if anybody else have anything to speak on this, and let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it. So I will stop the video now, and hopefully I can continue this, and this can become something that we can just share with each other. And also, prevention is worth a pound of cure. And also, prevention is the way it goes, is worth a pound of cure. And make sure that you have something in common. If you have God in common, that'll give you a base to have something to fall back on. But if you two don't have that in common, then it's going to be kind of hard. So you need to go back to the old saying, equally yoked in everything, and in the way you think, in your upbringing, in goals that you want to attain, in everything, your attractions, your dislikes, your habits, health habits, everything. Okay, have a good day, and hopefully I'll continue on this, and you can give me your input.
Thank you so much for stopping by. And I just want to tell parents to love them, protect them, do not neglect them, and live respectable lives for them. Because when children become adults, that way you're giving them the tools so that they can sustain relationships that have empathy, and you'll put empathy in them when you love them while they're little. But if they're growing up in that trauma, they grow up in a survival mode and they carry that on to their adult relationships, and they'll just produce children of the same unless there is divine intervention. So just let me know what you think, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for stopping by.